Alistar just feels so broken right now. Like, I'm playing Alistar into Galio, I've got Kaisa and Corki on top. Like, you can even stop the Rel. I think that on with this Alistar has so much of a burden to be able to help.
Continued his teleport to come on through, so that means that he's able to farm up some XP. The wave's in a terrible spot right now, you can definitely say that, but it will mean all the difference if Weibo can make this trade work on to bin underneath the top lane tier 1 turret. Tien dashes in, Hung beautifully juggling that turret aggro is going to give Weibo first blood.
Yeah, with Elk and On not being able to push the wave hard enough or fast to be able to get it in, power this champion, but with an early objective need to try to get dragons, maybe they kill Breathe here?
Yeah, looks like he's taking a lot of damage here. The taunt not going to do anything to deny Wei, and picking up the first kill of the game here for BLG. Trade on the other side of the map as Tien, under the overheated turret, nearly goes down, but Light's able to pick up a kill and get Weibo back in front, 2-1.
Being able to hit their first item, power spikes. Weibo, however, have been able to, I think, play this so well early on, and BLG not necessarily punishing, so the game is incredibly even, but we want to look at Weibo as the game goes on. 3 items. I think that they're going to be spiking incredibly hard. Yeah,
you have to imagine that both of these teams did their research coming in, and if you're BLG, you had to know that this lane swap was coming, and you could have been able to see, you know, what was done against it right now.
10 is on this side of the map. They have vision of where the support is, and so looks like trying to get at least a lot of the spells. There are no spells available here for Breathe, so he is all by himself.
Yeah, flashes away here from the headbutt, but the pulverized lands all the same. Way underneath the tower is still level 6, and with that Glacial Prison should be able to take down Breathe once more.
To move, he's still pushing the bottom lane wave over. Tien's not in position. Weibo, they got a free start to the Herald or to the Grubs here, and they're going to show up late to the party. They're going to lose all these Grubs.
Yeah, no flash, no ulti on Knight, and they still decide it's not the fight that they want to go for Weibo.
He's in this area. You see that Tien and Hung in position. Wei and On are taking control.
Oh, Hung, he tried to go a little bit too aggressive, and he's going to pay for it with his life. The Ignite is ticking from On, but Wei is going to pick it up, claim that feat of Warts Fair, and go on a killing spree here for BLG.
The one we're looking at, especially with Knight here on this Yone, and they just haven't really been able to piece it together, so still waiting to see BLG Sleeping Giants.
Now Hung looking for maybe something here on to Knight, but instead just going to try to get that Demolish proc down and secure that first tower of the game for Weibo. So kills over to BLG, tower over to Weibo. It'll be up to the objectives to say who can claim that feat of strength, and BLG looking to claim it right here by taking it down this Cloud Drake. If they pick it up, it will be theirs, and it's going to belong to them unless Tien picked up the steal. He went for it, but was unsuccessful.
And I'm surprised, too, because he went over the wall. That's that moment as a jungler we were like, whoa.
Has not been in full force, absolutely, as, you know, right now, aside from the plays up there in terms of just the diving based on the lane swaps, Weibo have not been able to make any successful plays, but as I say that, Hung on the roam down towards the bottom lane to try to pick up a kill onto Bin, but it was nicely warded, and meanwhile it's BLG making the plays onto Xiaohu in his own jungle, and it's going to be an easy pickup here for the 2 tanks. Not even close as Wei picks up kill number 4 on the Sejuani.
And great discipline coming in from Bin, uses the equalizer, cancels out the wave, still probably going to go down. It's the flash coming in.
Yeah, and it's going to be followed up here by the Killer Instinct from Murado, and Hung's going to pick it up for himself, so the trade is made on the opposite side of the map.
So for Weibo, look at what they cost throughout that map. It was the Summoner spell of Bin to go down, but you lose access to mid, so this mid-tier 1 has taken a beating. Like you were just noting, Knight has been hitting on this top-tier 1, and I think has enough damage here. BLG are about to get 2 turrets off of a single play from this bottom lane, and Weibo, it's just not enough, man. You're not pushing the game in a meaningful way. The state of the map is still in an advantage here for BLG. We need to see this team wake up when it comes to team fights. They're supposed to have this huge wombo, great dive onto a slippery target like an Ezreal, and we haven't quite seen that team fight. I don't think BLG are really giving them the spots, and we need to see Weibo link up with their support if they want to be able to make this happen. Be able to grab this bottom tier 1, but it's not going to turn into gold spent, so it's going to be in the pocket here. BLG, I think, more focused on, hey, we're going to just make sure that we're able to open up a little bit more of the map, give ourselves longer side lanes, and even take control. But it seems like they want to make a turn, stop them from entering into mid. They can even grab the mid-tier 2 if they continue to screen Weibo out.
Here comes On with the Blast Cone. 2-man pull combined with the Equalizer. That is so much damage. Xiaohu is already dead. And now BLG with that numbers advantage. Hero's Entrance comes out. It's going to do a big amount of knocking up people, but not a ton of damage. It's already a double kill in for Bin, and it's 3 kills for nothing in favor of BLG.
They explode out onto the fight. Great wards from BLG. Spot out the members of Weibo. So many summoner spells got now. Specifically the flashes on both of the marksmen of Weibo. As Elk now, you caught way too many mid lane waves, bro. You gotta give this one up.
It is a
And
shutdown
flash,
over
man.
for Light, but just a mere respite from the onslaught that BLG has put onto Weibo Gaming. Kill notably onto Light. That is going to be big in terms of gold later on. But now Tien might have done a bit his fair share of greeting as well, as Wei's going to stun him up. On is joining the party, and you talked about it earlier here, all gone and Wei playing like brothers on the map here today. He blocks out the Vault Breaker with his flash, and he allows Knight to scoop on in and pick that one up.
Oh man, okay, finally. It took us a couple series, but...
And kill participation, and it seems to really be those two basically contributing almost everything to these plays here, whether it's in terms of engage or even damage. I mean, those Wei and On together, despite being just like an Alistar and Sejuani.
Putting this guy in over Shun, and that'll just be kind of it. He's going to give us some more stability. He has, I think, really leveled up this team. It's, oh my god.
Oh yeah, oh my goodness. That is just a 100-0 of Tien right there, as Elk is the one to pick up the final kill. However, the response here from Weibo could be big. That's a nice shutdown by Light, and now Weibo have made it 2 for 1 and potentially looking for more. Elk does a lot of poke damage with those double ups intact as well, but Jiahu is answering back with the rockets. Equalizer does take Jiahu down to about 500 HP. The big taunt onto Knight. That means he's not able to go any further. Oh, but he's spotted.
He sees Wei. Wei will now get spotted after the pink had been moved.
So they're going to collapse into the Galio instead. Yeah, it's Otacon is down. That is the revives available here for Weibo, and that will certainly be something that Bin will utilize. But on the other side of the fight, it is Weibo stacked up as 4, and Light picking up yet another kill onto Bin. On goes in with that Unbreakable Will. A huge ultimate coming in from Knight on the Yone, but it does not matter because Light is still untouched, and there are rebirths in for Weibo. Can Light finish off another kill? He got so close to both Wei and On, but he will go back into the fountain. But things go very well for Weibo on that play.
I think the fact that this engage from On and Knight, it just buys so much time. It wastes a lot of the clock here for Weibo. The follow-up as well. The Dragon's taken by Weibo, but BLG, they want to keep going.
That is big. That denies the Ocean Soul right now here for BLG, but it might come at the cost of Breathe, and it does. Elk picks up the last hit, and now Hong is next on the menu. Does in that dismounted form, not going to be able to get away. Who will they feed the kill to? It will be Elk once more, who is trying to go ban for ban with his 80 carry opponent in Light. These 80 carries getting very, very strong at this point of the game, Elk, as BLG control the fight.
It's 2,000 gold, but I think the gold just feels so much more oppressive. The lead that BLG have. Weibo just look lost on the map. They're not team fighting particularly incredibly, and we're not seeing the front line of this team kind of be able to stand tall for the marksman.
To do so, question will be now around this Baron. We'll say though, Light is the strongest player here in the game, not matched closely by Elk. As now it is Breathe getting targeted out, just going a little bit too far forward here for that wave. The hero's entrance going to get canceled, and that is a big kill going over BLG.
Breathe is now a large pain point for this team. The early game didn't look great. The Galio just hasn't been able to connect. And now it's going to be a Baron start here for BLG. They still have a lot of important ultimates here. And we'll see if Weibo, if they can make the defense onto this play. Light has now taken a mid-tier 1. Tien is waiting for the steal.
Yeah, but it looks like BLG know that's going to happen, so they try to push Tien out of the pit. Glacial Prison over him as well, as that Baron will get bursted down without Tien being able to even get near the Baron Nashor, as it gets picked up here by the red side.
Has been so aggressive, shifting forward, trying to find more, and Light is starting to pick up items. He's starting to get to that point on Kai'Sa where even tanks start to shudder at the fear of the Plasma procs.
Yeah, I mean, those W's are now upgraded, will be coming out every few seconds now, as long as they can hit onto the champions. But right now, BLG don't care too much about that, because they are right now dismantling the towers of Weibo. They are very close to taking down that top tier 2. Now the mid lane inhibitor turret is now the target, and Weibo have to take the time to pull the trigger, to engage, to try to save the game for themselves. Looks like it's not going to be before this inhibitor tower falls. We now, though, see a teleport coming in from Breathe, as that is going to be the start of a fight, potentially. Breathe has the flash and the taunt. He's going to try to go in. Just waiting for his right moment, biding his time, and he might have bided a little bit too much time, as now he's getting collapsed on here by Weibo, and it's all too late. The carries are too far out until Light comes in with the killer instinct. Hero's entrance over the top will be able to knock up a couple, but look at Bin. He's fighting in a 1v1 against Xiaohu, and he will win. Equalizer on to Breathe to try to just finish the job, put the icing on top of the cake, because Bilibili Gaming have run away with this first matchup, and they're going to go up 1-0 in this best of 5.
It looked close until it wasn't. BLG have been so dominant here in our first game of an elimination series between these two teams. And kind of feels like BLG of old. The solo lanes doing well, and the jungle really accentuating some of the strengths of our bottom lane.
On to the Nexus they go. The respawns are going to be just a little bit too late unless some miracle happens here for Weibo. But BLG, they're just playing with their food. They know the history here, and it's all them favored. It's now 10 maps in a row here, won by Bilibili. A little more skirmish heavy, I would say, overall for BLG in that mid jungle. The 2v2 going to be very impactful in terms of the early game. Once Knight hits level 6, using that Spirit Rush to go around the map, control areas of Summoner's Rift alongside Wei, and avoid another fate like they suffered in 2024.
Early on, do you expect that BLG would have a lot more damage early?
Wow, oh wow, Hung already burned the flash. He got a little bit too aggressive in terms of poking. And he's just going to go down. A very questionable decision there by Weibo will allow BLG to pick up first blood. Time to, while lose out on the push, at least get all the XP of these minions here. As level 2 has now been hit up by Light and Hung. Already a heal burn to try to just root down On, who remember does not have that flash from level 1. Could be in trouble. One more auto from Hung is not enough as the potions are healing On up all the way back to base.
But this was the matchup that I think BLG wanted to avoid. They did not want to have to play into the Varus and the Karma. You get outranged, you're able to deal much more poke damage and not really have to interact or get into a trade with Ashe. You can match some of her range with this or with the W. So tough start here for the side of BLG. They tried to call out. They had no vision as to where they were starting on this bottom side of the map. And now we're seeing Tian and Xiaohu walk into the bottom side of the map. They can continue to punish.
And they're looking immediately for this Gromp. It is on the vision right now for BLG, but now Tian flashes on top of Wei. Remember, he doesn't have his flash either, and that's a big Jin Zhao skirmishing alongside Xiaohu, and it allows for Weibo to pick up their first kill of the game, and now turn their eyes towards the bottom lane and force a teleport out of Knight.
Look at where this minion wave is, though. Nowhere near to crashing, so Knight loses his TP, and Xiaohu is very happy with the effects
they
of
land
that.
the root.
Oh, no.
And the tether connects as well. The Unbreakable is going to expire. Hung picks up another kill. Weibo getting free kills after losing out on that level 1 because of the missing summoner spells that were given away.
Getting turrets, forcing kills, forcing summoner spells. Otherwise, we're going to get into a very similar situation from game 1 where there's some early action. We see great priority coming in from them, but not enough to really spiral the game into their control.
Right, it seemed like in game 1, Weibo, they did their prep on the first like 5 minutes of the game. Maybe they were using the practice tool and just redoing those moments over and over again. But after that, it was about 2-1 for a while, maybe 2-2 in terms of the kill score. This game right now, they hold themselves a 1,000 gold lead. They've got 2 of those 3 kills that they need for that feat of strength. Able to reset and make its way back. Will be a pretty even fight around the second spawn of Grubs, and it looks like BLG do want to respond. Remember, this style of fight is kind of what goes in their favor, especially with Knight heading back towards the mid lane. But it looks like instead, they're going to opt away from it, try to get some priority mid, and allow for Weibo to pick up all 6 of these Grubs and get even closer to that feat of strength being claimed.
We're also getting some first items completed here. Malignance for Knight, but we also just haven't seen the Spirit Rush yet, so...
In this bottom side, Tri-Brush by Xiaohu, and that allows for Weibo to make their way down towards this dragon. They want to even up that count, but BLG have other things to say about it, potentially.
And this is a lot different game than what we saw in game 1. There was more engage options for a player like Wei, but now on this Nidalee, you are really reliant on your mid and support for making plays happen. Everybody from Weibo is here.
It's on the Hung, but he's way too far away for anything to happen about it. Spear does land on the dragon, but it will be secured by Tian, who might now have to flash over the wall in order to survive, or they could continue to go forward onto BLG and try to look for a fight themselves. Looks like instead, just threatening aggressively with their posture.
Weibo, like you were saying, with that turret falling, you've got the Herald here as well. I don't know. Weibo can continue pushing on a side lane. They've got Ghost for Xiao. Xiao's actually almost about to hit level 11 as well, so he's going to be very powerful for this upcoming fight. Asher goes missing again.
I mean, he was very, very close to hitting Hung, but now, without that ultimate, Elk could be in a lot of trouble right now. He already used both the summoner spells. Tien dashing in, and Light will pick up the kill onto his opposing AD carry. A big mistake there for BLG's bot laner will allow for Weibo to garner mid control and potentially look for more with all 6 grubs. Look at those little mites charging right down the mid lane.
Oh no, the mites are coming. They're getting the teleport out from Knight. Maybe there's a turn play. You see that Bin is starting to move over, but instead gives up on the play.
Range, but it does allow now for Weibo Gaming to make their way towards this Rift Herald and likely pick it up with no jungler in the area. Way headed down to the bot lane, knowing it's a lost cause, maybe trying to set up around that Drake. We'll say Bin has gotten his fair share of poke on to breathe throughout this whole ordeal. He's still trying to get his way back into this game as well, but right now Weibo really seem controlled and comfortable with how this game number 2 is going.
They've got 6 grubs, they've got Herald, they've only missed out on 1 early dragon, but aside from that, it's been...
And they're already on the back foot here around this dragon as Wei had to flash away from Tien as they make their way towards this Ocean Dragon. In the meantime, Breathe with those 6 grubs will pick up the bottom lane tier 1 turret and now make his way towards the Tri-Brush where he's going to spot out the Nidalee, who now is in the wrong side of places without that flash. It looks like right now they're going to just leave him be as Tien will spawn that Rift Herald, try to use it to maybe get some pressure in the mid lane, as on the other side of things, Weibo also hitting onto this tier 2 tower down bottom.
Just a distraction, and also the mid tier 1 is just so low. The Crash will take it. Bin is getting a top tier 1 at this moment, so some small gold injection. They make the play.
Okay, well, they've bought enough time for Wei to actually continue to stick around down there, and they already pick up a shutdown onto Xiaohu. But look at Breathe, he's gone all out in a 1v3 for now, but can turn things around potentially. The Chain of Corruption is going to connect onto Wei, and Breathe will clean up that kill to make it 4-2 in favor of Weibo. Crescent Guard comes out from Tien. He dashes forward onto the main carry. Elk is down. Knight still trying to dish out as much damage as he possibly can. He spear rushes forward. Hung has to flash away from the charm, but the flash follows in from Knight to at least make it a 1-for-1 trade. Light and Bin now duking it out. Bin does not have that ultimate, so a lack of gap closing ability and a lack of crowd control, but he still does not lack in that damage department. Going in towards Light, the Q and the hail of arrows will connect, and it's going to be all 5 down for BLG.
As there's no dragon to spawn around. We're really kind of jockeying for position around mid lane and playing around the Otacon. Oh, on?
That's the Unbreakable, but now the Chain of Corruption does connect on top of him. Going to be a big chunk of poke with that piercing arrow, and look at Bin. He's going to be trapped underneath the enemy team, but he's going to take down Hung with him. It's a 1-for-1 so far, but Elk is next on the menu, and Tien will pick up that kill. Knight lands the charm onto the Jin Zhao and will force him to back away. Another 2-for-1 though in favor of Weibo Gaming, with the Otacon up down at the bottom side of the map.
The back line recognize he's too far, and oh wait, picture, we're live!
Right back into the fight, and Bin has once again gotten caught out. Chain of Corruption landed on top of him, and now Breathe potentially on the wrong side of things, but he did take another down with him as Elk is already in the death chamber, and Breathe will not fall as Wei will go down as well. Tien now underneath every single tower, just in the base of BLG, making quick work of Knight. Another 4 kills go in favor of Weibo as they're going to break open the base less than 24 minutes in.
All the 3-0ers, be damned. We're going to at least 4 games here in this series. It's on by himself, and BLG just collapse in this second game versus Weibo.
Just On is alive with all 5 members of Weibo Gaming onto the Nexus turrets. It's 5 seconds on Bin, 5 seconds on Elk, but it might just be a few seconds too late. They're on to the Nexus. They're going to take it down, and hands meet series. Weibo even things up.
They need to make the mid 2v2 unlivable for Xiaohu. When you are playing with this Talia and this Nocturne, anytime Victor has flash, you need to be able to look to blow it with the seismic shove, get good team fight, and they have setup. They have a lot of crowd control. So you can move around the map, really kind of move around the battlefield as well. See this dive potentially coming in. I think it's a bit tough. Again, you're playing, it's level 2 Maokai.
And On is on the way as well. Big stun going to connect here from Tien. That will likely make the dive happen, but no! Bin flashes away. He heals up from On's help, and that'll be first blood picked up here for BLG. Bin will go down in a trade, but that is very, very worth it for Bilibili.
These turrets is going to be important. Just, again, we were looking at BLG. They have great tools for being able to set up a team fight, and it's going to be on Weibo to be able to...
wave 6.
Maybe they can play on his bottom side. Breathe has flash and the ult as well as the counter-strike now. I think it's tough. I think this dive is tough.
You're right. Part of me was thinking like he was going to send it all the way back to the grubs, but instead helping out Bin a little bit, making sure he gets his wave in.
Watch a lot of the wave clear, and finally get to see Knight move out from mid. He's just doing a little bit of cursory mid. Oh,
okay. There are those semi-globals in the mid lane that we were talking about. We said that the BLG mid jungle had to get ahead, and they do so here, taking down Xiaohu. Knight picks up the kill.
There we go. We wanted to see it a little bit earlier, but honestly, I'll take it. You know that Victor is an immobile mage, without, especially if he has flash. You have to be able to force a summoner spell or force the issue. And now, we've seen this play. Hung misses the Eclipse in the E, so I don't know, guys.
Well, the bullet time comes out, though. Tien slowing with the Heartbreaker. That is enough to take the Xayah down. But now Light is in a precarious situation, and Wei is here to try to follow things up. And now it's a 3v1. Even though it's under the turret, Wei could be in some trouble without that paranoia. Tien with a stolen away Xayah body going to land the Blade Caller. Another tower shot will take down Light as he just walked a little bit too close to that tier 1. The Q from Wei will not take down Hong. Bin is still getting pressured out. He does have the teleport if he wants to head back to base for a quick reset, and might prove to be worthwhile with Tien hovering on the bottom side. But Knight, now the one who actually gets caught out here. The Solar Flare comes through from Hong, and that is Tien picking up that kill. 1-0 in favor of Weibo in this engage so far, but you already see Wei hovering towards that grubs, wanting to even up that count. Weibo, though, with that numbers advantage, want to make something happen here. They already have Breathe on this side. Bin going to try to match with the teleport.
And from Knight. So Tien on this jungle is starting to get really supercharged. He's a little bit behind it in experience, but he has a lot of camp still to do. He's 3-0-1 on this Viego with a completed Trinity Force. We need to see this guy pull off a carry performance if we Weibo are going to be able to take game 3 here.
He's making his way down here towards the Dragon to try to even that count up. We are trading back and forth these objectives on either sides of the map as we have come across what is, I think so far, a very close game number 3.
Looking at, especially when we're talking about someone like Weibo with these ultimates, double Triforce now completed for your top and jungle, and Xiaohu is going to be finishing up on this Sarah soon, so we'll have additional survivability coming into a fight.
Breathe, able to pick up the first tower of the game. That is the feats of strength going towards Weibo. Now jumping in on Tonight to try to fight this down to 1v2.
No way.
Goes in with a Counter-Strike flash and will take down Knight. Now the next target is Elk, but with the paranoia coming in, it will be a shutdown going in towards the enemy to carry. But what a fight coming out from Breathe, getting the tower and a kill. They're going to trade those towers once again, but because Breathe was able to get that bot tier 1 first, net positive so far for Weibo Gaming as Light will extend the gold lead to 2,000 on the red team's favor. Remember, we all
versus a Jax. Talia is not a very competent side laner, especially in comparison, so we're seeing it time and time again. BLG not really respecting some of the strengths and I think overplaying some of their hands. Oh, now he get caught.
Yeah, he is definitely in some trouble as the paranoia in just to confirm the kill and potentially even look for more. Tether lands in onto the Viego and Tien in a lot of trouble. It will be another kill picked up here for Elk as Xiaohu forced to pop the Arcane Storm and run for the hills with the Rift Herald now on the menu for BLG.
Legendary caster curse setting up all the great parts of Weibo into immediately a great team fight for BLG, who grabbed themselves the Rift Herald and the flash from Xiaohu, so wonder if they'll be able to make a big enough impact onto them as they're now sending Light over. They recognize that, look, we didn't get much on, we're not going to be able to get much on the top side. This Victor's going to be able to wave clear by himself. Let's see if we can get as much damage on his bottom tier 1 and even maybe set up for a dragon as Tien respawns and is immediately out onto the bottom side of the map.
Out of this Talia pick.
I mean, Hung is just too far up, right? Like, this has happened so many series so far for Weibo. Hung by himself.
And brace for a little bit of extra sustainability as Knight immediately teleports in to the top lane. Going to get targeted up by Hong, but look at Wei dashing underneath the tower with the paranoia. Here comes On as well with the quickness. Xiaohu is ticking, but will survive. Now Breathe with a massive flank off of the teleport is looking to rip apart BLG. Here comes Tien as well with the Heartbreaker. It's already 1 kill picked up. They're looking for more as they continue to try to chase down BLG. On dashed away with the grand exit. And Tien will be unable to pick up any more.
A little bit of gold, but look what Weibo are able to get on the backside of this. It's another few mid waves here for Light. It'll be hopefully this top tier 1 if they can help it.
Yeah, Breathe just trying to set up time for Light. Flashes forward here with the counter-strike, finds a big stun, will be able to escape with his life. Light does not have the bullet time available, but it will be enough damage for TN to pick up the kill on the Bin. That is another one going towards Weibo. They want this top tier 1, they want it bad. All 5 of their members on the top side of the map.
BLG's mid laner, a star in the making and a legend here, one of the best mids ever seen in the LPL, is just crumbling so far. And this is an elimination series. This is one of the worst times to have your stars not being able to play up here. And this fight is so good, and Breathe and Tian are playing incredibly.
Oh, another fight under the mid lane turret. Here comes BLG. Light's already down, and now Hong is the next target. It's another kill in for Light. Knight, a double kill for the Taliyah as they break open the tier 1 turret and now use that Rift Herald to rotate towards the Otacon buff that has just spawned.
Getting more of a series than we thought we were. Weibo have been, I thought that Weibo were going to be a top 4 team, and they need to be able to prove it. Uh-oh.
Another fight being forced here in the mid lane is already Xiao, who is forced to flash away. Teleport in from Bin is very far forward, but he's going to be matched alongside Wei. All the way forward, BLG do dive, but look at Breathe cleaning things up on the back line with a teleport flank of his own. Already just a 1-for-1, looking for a little bit more as Bin finally will drop as Tian gets himself another reset and potentially looking now towards the Dragon.
Hong, you also had the Seraph Shield as well, which provided so much time. And look at the summoner spells that were used there. Bin TP'd into that play. He wanted to try to make something happen, and they were able to trade a couple of great summoner spells. No flash from Tian, and kind of the story afterwards has been really impressive to see. And we need to be able to have those big carry moments when they carry.
Paranoia, it comes out. Knocks 3 away, but a big seismic shove comes through from Knight. And that is the shutdown first picked up Tian. The main carry for Weibo is down. Bullet time on the other side is big though. Light chunks everybody down to half, but half is not enough for any kills as everybody on BLG still stands tall. The 2 carries for Weibo are still alive, and they can dish out a ton of damage if they are given the opportunity to, but BLG are looking to shut the door. They try to break open this tier 1 turret and split Xiaohu and Light from each other. It's already been a 3-for-0. It could potentially be more as Zhao is on the wrong side of the map. He has a death race. He's going to get away here from that seismic shove, but here comes On. He lands the grand entrance and will take Xiaohu down.
There's the teleports coming in. Bin literally TP'd behind him. They were going to start the Otacon. They don't want to go for this. Why are BLG so hesitant? They can't do it. They can't do it. They know that bullet time is coming up. Yes, Light did lose his flash, but he has Bloodthirster, right? So he'll be able to heal as long as he's able to at least auto a couple of minions and Breathe in a side lane right now.
Now gives Weibo a little bit of angle. Dragon gonna reset. Bin, blast cones over the wall, and now the battle lines have been drawn. Ultimates available for every single player as this could get bloody. Here comes the Nature's Grasp. Weaver's Wall going to try to block out Tian as BLG going to burst down the Dragon, and it will be secured by Elk. But look at Breathe on the flank. Has the Counter-Strike procced, but does not want to pull the trigger as he was too far ahead of the rest of his team.
Lost. There's no ability for them to interact with the Taliyah wall. It stops them from getting into a play. It stops them from this massive flank in Breathe. And they take a mid-tier or 2 off of it. They'll be able to take some more jungle camps mid. They're using Xayah and this Taliyah to really zone them out into this river brush.
Breathe.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, and now Hong is the one potentially caught out. He's chunked down to half HP with a Nature's Grasp already coming out. The Leona is dead before she can cast a single spell. And now it is going to be another kill over to BLG as Breathe will fall. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Knight with a seismic shove to take down Light. It is another one picked up for Elk. Another 3-for-0 for BLG as Tian and Xiaohu are forced to run for the hills. Now with 3 members on their side in their advantage, will this be the time that BLG starting up an objective?
And the setup is just so sloppy here for Weibo. They are not able to get damage down. They're not able to stop this Taliyah. It's just so clean here for BLG. They're making really good snap calls onto, hey, we're turning onto this objective, we're turning onto this player, make sure that we're focus firing them, and they'll take the Baron. Knight's gonna TP, they're gonna start up this. Otacon Tien is in the area, but he'll have to walk over Vision, and he just does he has no way of entering the pit.
Wow, so after that one fight, that was the play that BLG needed to take both the Baron and the Otacon.
Behind as well. Yes, it's Breathe that does have an advantage, but we talked about this bottom lane. Elk is now up 30. Mid lane as well, as the case here for Knight. So they're slowly losing out on resources, and you already see almost level 18 here for Knight. And Tien just can't do anything. He has to use the Heartbreaker to get out from mid. They're just losing everywhere.
And now the Nature's Grasp comes out. That will at least lock up Xiaohu and maybe Bin looking for the play. But instead, BLG just going to take down this bot lane inhibitor with mid lane next on the menu, with another wave crashing in very, very shortly. On, going in forward, just trying to lock down Breathe right now, who forces to go golden. Bin flashing over the Weaver's wall. Again, the bullet time not doing too much, but is it enough to take down Bin? The answer is no. The healing is there, and Bilibili Gaming are ravaging this team fight. Hong is now the next target with the Eclipse. Light tries to flash forward to pick up something, but BLG will reign supreme and take us to match point in this series.
They kill Xiaohu, and that will be it for game number 3. Weibo, with an incredible opening, are not able to close it. It's 23-9. Game score would have told you this was a one-sided game, but the complete different here for the rest of the game. Heavy burst here from BLG, a lot of good setup with the amount of crowd control coming from the jungle and support, and they need to be able to stomp these lanes. This game doesn't get easier for Weibo, but they have a ton of engage to be able to make plays happen. Way up still had the camp leash, and they're going to go for this dive on the bottom wave. This has to go well for BLG.
Now there is teleports available for both solo laners of Weibo, but I don't know if they want to utilize it. Flashing away already is Hong, and Light has to cleanse away from the cocoon. Already the Ignite's ticking on top of him, and the first blood is picked up by On, who uses the repel beautifully and is able to avoid the tower from taking him down. Now Hong is dangerously low and will be taken down. It's 2-0 BLG.
That's exactly what we wanted to see, and I love this from Knight. He goes into the top side, tries to get vision. Now he needs to be able to survive here. It is going to be his clone being taken down, but getting vision onto Tien is such an important move here for BLG's mid lane, so that they can, if they can, try to catch out BLG on the exit from these grubs. More so, prevent them from getting both sides of the objective around the bottom side as well.
I mean, if they could steal one away, that's big just in terms of, you know, negating that feat of strength potentially over. Should be at least a smite fight, and actually with that grub resetting, now Weibo are the ones with a little bit of control, and with Knight chunked down to about 400 HP, it's going to be a little bit risky for BLG to fully commit to this one, so Weibo will be able to pick up that one grub.
Some of those camps, it'll be a first dragon here for BLG, so they got a majority of the grubs, they got the first dragon, they got the first 2 kills of this game, but aside from, I will say they're keeping the state of the map in a good spot. They're making sure to advance the game in meaningful ways around objectives. From Weibo ends up kind of striking rich for them, as they not only get that summoner spell. Whoa!
Okay, looks like Elkanon think that they're going to have to do it themselves, and they do! They one-shot Hong on the Nico, not even able to flash away or use a Pop Blossom, but now a collapse could be imminent. Teleport coming in. It's going to be from Xiaohu, who has the Between Worlds available. Curtain Call will be opened up. It is a 3v2, but the health bars are on Weibo's side. On will get bursted down by the third shot, and the fourth will slow up Knight up for now. Dodge away from the Deadly Flourish. He still does have a Distort available in a couple of seconds. He'll use that to get over the Dragon Pit wall and head back to base safely.
On the map, which means Weibo should be able to get these sets of grubs, putting them at 4-2, and oh my god, Xiaohu might actually just get a free kill here. Oh, gets a teleport out from Bin though.
Yeah, and Xiaohu has the flash and a lot of movement speed there, so no danger of going down, just forcing BLG to respond with another summoner spell, as Bin has now neither the teleport nor the flash, and that allows for Weibo to actually pick up all 3 of these grubs on the top side, as well as picking up plates here up top lane. Breathe actually jumping forward here. The repel is forced on from On, and he is still in a lot of trouble. 4 members of Weibo are going to collapse and pick up another kill. The Gnar with the flash into the wall from Breathe is going to stop it down way. 2-man wall up as well. It's a double kill picked up for Light, and they're potentially going to look for more. They still have that numbers advantage and are trying to trap Elk and Knight between the 2 towers. Another Deadly Flourish comes out. Elk is forced to use the 90 caliber net to escape, and Weibo will control yet another wave in that bottom lane matchup after picking up 3 kills. Has all of those kills right now for Weibo, and now they could look for more. Wei getting trapped out again. Here comes that curtain call, and this Pantheon knows his time is short-lived, as he will fall, and Weibo will make their way towards the dragon.
Yeah, but where was his support, right? Like, On is in the bottom side of the map. We cannot be clearing that. There was no prio as well from Knight, so good punish coming out from Weibo opens up the dragon, and this is a game 4 that is so important. Obviously, if Weibo win, we send ourselves to a game 5 here, and BLG are 1 game away from qualifying to the next part of this playoffs tomorrow. But, I mean, cool, you find Breathe here maybe?
That's the Caitlyn Elise combo we're talking about. The cocoon into the trap, but right now that's just not enough damage even to take down Breathe. Okay, yes it is. There it goes. Ace in the hole comes out, and that's a big chunk of money headed towards Elk.
They want to try to grab this turret.
Starfall goes in onto Tien, lands a stun, and it will be flashed away from as the cocoon does not connect. Teleport comes in from Xiaohu to try to save that tower. It likely will fall, but actually with Hong in the area means that nothing will be able to pick up. And now Xiaohu pops it between worlds and locks down Wei. But here comes Knight. Lands the cocoon onto Hong, who's now chunked down to below 100 HP. Light now arrived to the fight as well. Curtain Call is available, but they don't want to use it without the health bars being too low. And so it's just resources sent down bottom for Weibo to delay the inevitable of this bot lane tier 1 going down.
So many summoner spells as well, and there was really no play. Breathe has not been able to connect for the rest of the team this game. Turrets very early. We're already at 16 minutes, and they barely were able to get 5 plates. Teleport towards top lane.
They're looking for Breathe, trying to get something back here as Bin procs Hextech Ultimatum. Knight and On are on the way. Knight flashes forward to land that tether, and the chains will get doubled up. Breathe will get bursted down. Beautiful execution as the crowd control chain will find the top laner of Weibo.
I mean, LeBlanc ultimate is so low of a cooldown. They're going to start up this Rift Herald here. Not without the current call open.
That's just going to chunk down Wei. Here comes the Elastic Slingshot from Tien, and Wei is already down to below 400 HP. He's very, very low. The burn is taking him down. He's not going to be a factor here in a potential team fight, as that will push BLG away from the Rift Herald, and Weibo actually setting up for that objective really, really nicely here, as they know their backs are up against the wall. Tangle Barbs land here onto Elk between worlds, doing a big decent chunk of damage as well. Xiaohu just doesn't have the distance to close onto Elk, and now Hong might be in a little bit of trouble as On forces the flash away for the Nico. But here comes Bin now. Hook shot forward, combined here with that cocoon. But Tien is so big on this backline. He says, let's bounce, baby. Hong only finds the knockup onto Knight, but it's not enough to take him down. He will be able to distort out, and no kills go either way.
With Weibo getting out with the Rift Herald, they're also able to squeeze a couple more summoner spells out from this. BLG, I don't think they're as clean as they were in form for the last summer finals between these two teams.
Yeah, the Dragon is getting started.
I felt like that was a Super Bowl performance. It's like, we're not allowed to play it yet, you know?
No. We don't want to cast or curse it. I'm not going to say what we heard, but it's going to be a tower picked up here for Xiaohu, as now Wei will make his way down towards the Dragon and pick that one up for BLG. That is 2-1 Dragon lead in their favor. But the rest of the map going very much in Weibo's control. They are up in Rose Petals, they are up in Grubs, they are up a little bit in Gold. And
they're also going to take top tier 2 here as well. So they traded a single Dragon for mid tier 1, 2 top lane turrets, and maybe you lose this bottom tier 1. I think this is a huge trade here coming in from Weibo. And one of the strengths of this team was the fact that they are willing to cross-map for the Otacon. They're one of the first teams to do it in their series, in their group stage. So to see it here now, I feel is more of a reflection of the level of gameplay we've gotten them from before.
The kill of the Otacon is going to give BLG those temporary revives, as it was just a trade in towers on the other side of things. Weibo were able to pick up the top tier 2. Tier 1 still open, and if you end up losing a couple players for it, you'll have that opportunity. But instead, they're going to look for a pick onto Xiaohu, using that tower that they took down earlier. It's a really nice engage from Wei, and that's a big chunk of gold going towards Knight. Already knows he has the revive, already chunking down Light to 30%. Tien just waiting for the opportune time to go in, but doesn't seem like there's going to be one just yet. Finally finds the engage on the way, and they will send him back to the fountain with 200 gold going towards Tien. But it comes at the cost of the mid-tier 1. Lots of map pressure now opened up for BLG.
And now they're starting to equal up some of those turret trades that we saw in the Otacon swap from Weibo. If they make this dive happen as well, it's so good for them.
Yeah, ultimatum onto Breathe, combined with the ace in the hole. Not even a chance here for that Gnar to survive, but it will come at the cost of some of these revives coming through. Xiaohu and Tien will combine for a couple of those. Few hundred gold into the pocket of the Aurora is always a good thing, but it comes at the cost of your top laner being dead for 30 seconds, but it could be more, as Elk is now getting targeted here by that Pop Blossom.
It's a lot easier for them to play for this Dragon that's spawning, and Bin is just allowed to continue split pushing, right? Like, that's another turret falling. He can teleport if he really wants to, but BLG are giving this up in favor of protecting the Camille and maybe even looking to turn towards this Baron.
You can see Weibo, they're really trying to bide their time. They're opting instead of trying to defend their own towers, to pick up another neutral objective here on the Dragon and wait for those third items to come through potentially.
A little bit more creative. Now Hong has the flash again.
Oh, Elk is just completely caught out. He doesn't have his flash just yet. He is able to escape over the wall barely, but the force shot from Light will shut the Caitlyn down. And Weibo already have picked up one. They'll get a second with Wade dropping next. And Weibo Gaming pick up a huge fight in the mid lane off the back of their Nico support and will turn their eyes towards the Baron Nashor.
Open the game in favor of Weibo. They grab the Baron afterwards as well and had to use some of their summoner spells, but I think that's going to be worthwhile for keeping themselves in this game without the summoner spell or with a champion like Pantheon in the game.
Hong, the target here, is Knight. That's a big chunk of damage here with that Ethereal Chain. On trying to follow up Pal Blossom to try and peel. Hong still alive. Deadly Flourish comes out. The Nico will survive. And it's a double kill in for Xiaohu, and BLG are over-indexed. Bin has the magic damage shield. Tries to find the kill.
Bin
Finally
Camille
will take down Hong. But I don't think he'll be able to do much after that. Breathe, jumps forward, tries to take him down with the boomerangs. It is going to be a big crit come from Light to make it a 3-for-0 or 3-for-1 trade in for Weibo.
BLG, they're starting to get caught up in the ways. This game has been dirty on. Why are we flashing?
He
There's
tried
no
to find the
need for
one-shot onto
this!
Xiaohu. Gonna cost him his flash and a repel. Cost of the curtain call in from Light. Breathe is still exhausted here. Elk now has the flash and will be able to use it to get away from that elastic slingshot and maybe even force the passive of Tien.
Let's go, Elk.
That is going to be enough for that jungler of Weibo to fall as BLG get a little bit of breathing room off of that Baron push.
The part where Weibo have thrown their Baron.
It looks so good, but now Tien spawning in 30 seconds. It is going to be soul point picked up here for Bilibili Gaming. And they're right back into this one. Careful of Knight's flank, but right now Tien is the one leading the charge on this Zac.
Elk is nowhere near. He's back in base. What is he buying? Is he buying another item here? Yeah, he finishes LDR. Wow. Huge purchase for him. And there's no Mega Gnar for Breathe, so if there's ever a time now, BLG does have a window where there will be no Mega Gnar available for Weibo. They're just going to protect their base, protect their inhib. They should be looking to cancel recalls, buy Knight some time. He has a ton of AP. He's probably going to be able to one-tap this turret anyway.
We'll be able to pick that one up very easily, and we'll say Wei still has that ultimate and that flash. They want to go for a play. Hong going to force the initiative. Land the two-man Pal Blossom onto Elk, and the Caitlyn is dead. The main carry for BLG is down to the wayside. It's a 2-for-1 overall. Xiaohu is now forced to push forward as Knight is on the retreat, forces that back to be channeled, and the Nexus turrets are under fire. BLG have a 3v4 to try and save this game, or else Weibo will force the game 5. In comes the Starfall for Wei to try to at least clear out the wave, and he will do so successfully and force Weibo to go onto him instead.
This is the ultimate that may save BLG in this game. That could have been the end here. Time to be able to catch up with him. Oh my god, no.
Don't jump over.
He doesn't see him. Great job, Wei.
Wow.
Sneaky guy. I love you can even see the player cams. Elk and Otter are like, yeah, they're laughing to each other. They know. Has had a very valiant series. Even that Viego performance not able to do it. That flash onto Xiaohu. Maybe it's something here. Breathe almost has Mega Gnar.
Here comes Hong. He's using the ultimate just to try to peel away from Wei, and it's enough for the jungler of BLG to fall. It's only a 1-for-1 as Hong will go down. A Knight and Elk are still alive. They're still doing a lot of damage. And look at Bin with the Hextech ultimatum, doing a big chunk onto Light, proccing that GA. But Knight is still alive. Xiaohu still on the escape, but Weibo might have bitten off more than they could chew. Here's Bin on his Camille. He'll shut down Light. It is an ace picked up for BLG.
They want to get their revenge here in the playoffs. And with a last game between them and elimination, it seems like Weibo, they may have spent all the gas in the tank.
And that's going to be a Baron picked up.
Shot. Breathe with the flash. He flashes out instead of applying pressure onto the back line. So
BLG want to make that change here. They get one more wave to try and force the initiative and crack things open. Xiaohu takes a big chunk. And now he's actually going to be just the bait as Knight will go down in response. A big setup from Hong will allow for Knight to be taken down at a 4v5 to be opened up for Weibo. Tien dashes in onto Bin. The elastic slingshot combined with the Q is only going to buy some time as this Camille is super strong. Will be unable to be taken down by just a Zac alone. And
honestly hit with a LeBlanc charm. Right in the face. Okay, Vin.
And now he's going in on Tien. Has the passive available.
Real.
Will buy enough time here for the rest of his team to show up. The passive has been proc, teleports coming in, but now Wei has been locked down by the Pop Blossom, but it will not be enough as the backline is just getting obliterated by this Camille. He's picked up 2. The G has been popped, but he's bought way more than enough time for Elk to finish off the fight. Xiaohu, the last remaining survivor here for Weibo, will not be for long, and BLG might have just done it.
Oh, it took one fight, a single engage, as the entirety of Weibo fall. It was a pick onto Tien, and it just doesn't matter. All of the waves are starting to converge, whether it's mid lane, whether it's bottom lane. Weibo have a date with Thunder Talk tomorrow.
It can be in the regular season, it can be in the playoffs, it can be in international, or it can be domestic, it can be in the upper or the lower bracket. BLG beats Weibo, all the same. They take this series 3-1 and will get their matchup against Thunder Talk tomorrow.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.